Hello everyone, I'm Philip of the MK64Bros, and today I'm going to go over how we stream and how every kind of step we took and decisions we made on the type of hardware, and if you followed us from the beginning, you can kind of figure out and kind of follow through with how I'm going to show you all of this. So this is the table we usually set everything up on for our Monday night streams for Twitch. Right now I just have the laptop set up because I'm going to go through every piece that we put on this table and how I set it up, or how we set it up, but it's mostly myself. So of course, the main thing we have, Nintendo 64. We set up. I'm not going to set up any controllers. We don't need them. Another very important part, Mario Kart. Then we have the normal video cables for the Nintendo 64. Standard yellow, red, white for yellow for video, and red and white for left and right audio. So when we started our Mario Kart 64 Brothers endeavor, we just used the Nintendo, plugged it into the TV, and we took pictures of the screen results, or the cup results, and posted them on Twitter. So obviously the Nintendo would be directly hooked up to the TV video and audio inputs. And then we got thinking, well, let's at least start recording the gameplay of our matches so we can see them again. It was actually one of our friends, Kenny. He said he was watching us play, and we had a great move on Calamari Desert. It was, I had a fantastic shot. What I ended up doing was I needed to get first, and I needed James to get third or worse. And he was in second, but he was a ways behind me on the third lap. So I had 3 green-red shells, and just before I passed the finish line, I stopped, and I turned around, and I shot the 3 green shells just up the road towards where Jamie was headed, and I did end up hitting him, so it knocked him out, and I turned around, went over the finish line, got first, and a few characters passed James, and I was able to get the points I needed to take that cup. And after that, Ken was like, I wish we could have seen that again. That was awesome. So what we did is we went out. Well, we first did a lot of research because the Nintendo 64 is a retro gaming console now. It's, I don't know how many years old it is. And we needed something that would work with the Nintendo 64 to record. So we found this. It's the POG, or POG, however you want to pronounce it, HD PVR Rocket. And we got it for 2 reasons. First reason was that it was compatible with the Nintendo 64. Second reason is this device is pretty much standalone. All you need to do, or all you need to use to power it, is a USB port. So we plug it into the USB power. Most TVs now have a USB plug in the back. Sometimes we just use that. But it's standalone because you can just use a USB stick and throw her in, and then when you hit the record button, it just starts recording. When you're done, before you stop or on power it, you hit the button again, it stops recording, and it saves the file. Our files are usually, for time, an hour long, is how long it takes us to play all cups, and that file ends up being around 2 gigabytes. So this is a 32 gig stick. Yeah, it is, and so there's lots of files on it. We end up just saving them, and then if something happens to our stream now, it's our backup. We have a backup copy of at least the gameplay if the stream doesn't work for some reason. So we started putting those files on YouTube. We uploaded those on YouTube, and then we would time tag the highlights of everything that happened. So I'll go through the cords that we use for this as I set it up. So we've got the USB port, plug into the back, and then one end is for data and the other one is for power. So the red end is, I believe, for power, so we just plug that into the laptop and use that to power. See, it lights up, it's on, it's going to start flashing, but all the different colors that it flashes mean something different. So it's flashing red and blue right now. All that means is there's no signal going to it. Oh, and the red flashing was meant that there's no USB stick. But since there's a USB stick in it, if just flashing blue, it's waiting for a signal. So at first, when we looked at the inputs of this device, it just had red, blue, green, and left and right audio. But just like some TVs, you can use either the blue or the green to take the yellow video input. So on this device in particular, we use the blue. So here, as you can see, we just use the yellow to blue. Now the problem here is we need to split the video. So what we tried to do at first was that we'd basically split all of these cables over and over and over again to split the video, split the audio, send it to different devices, and splitting to two separate devices, being the TV and one for the recorder, it worked until we started splitting them further when we wanted to stream and still use the Rocket as a backup. So what I'll do is I'll just... Oh, why did that drop? Something flashed. We'll see what happens. I'll just carry on. It says it's recording, so I'll just go with it. So we'll pretend right now that there's video signals plugged in. Then we wanted to stream. So this was tough. Again, it's a retro console. Most streaming devices are set up for HD, full HD, HDMI cables for like Xbox One, 360, PS3, 4, all of them. So we need something else to take that type of video. So again, we did our research and we ended up buying this. It's the Hauppauge WinTV HVR 950Q, and it's just a very small USB TV tuner. Looks like that. USB port, and it's got the coax on the other end, but on the side it's got a plug, so we can plug in this adapter, and this adapter does have S-video as well as yellow left and right. So I'm going to start getting some of these cables out. Hopefully all the rustling doesn't get picked up by the mic. I'm not going to find out till afterwards. Fantastic. So we'll put that there. We usually just plug it into the laptop. It also has this extension, which we do use just so the device isn't plugged right into the side, and it plugs right in to the laptop here. So now we have these cables are for the TV tuner, and then we need another set that we hook up to the Rocket, the standalone recorder. So yellow goes into blue, and then it does have the red and white left and right audio. So we have that. And then of course we need to split it again because we still need to send the information to the TV. So we're going to have all of these cables. So that one would say go to the TV. So we have 3 sets, 1 input, and at first we had all of these cables split, and what was happening is because we had split it so many times, the video started getting darker on the TV because the signal wasn't as strong, and then also the signal wasn't as strong going to our devices, and it ended up screwing with the files, messing up the files that were going on to the standalone recorder. So our next purchase was this. It is a video audio amplifier splitter. It's a distribution amplifier. That's way better. So it's made by CE Labs. It's model AV400. Really nice, professional kind of grade. I got it for quite a decent deal. So when we do our stream, all we do is set up our Nintendo. We have the inputs. We first output to the stream. Then we output to the backup recorder. And then we split the third one to the TV. And that's why there are so many cables hooked up to this. So now on our stream, our laptop, this is a laptop we use right here. It's not very good. Even right now, it can barely handle recording this to itself. I'm just recording a video. I'm going to be posting this on YouTube a little bit later, and I'm watching the kilobytes kind of fluctuate a little lower than I'd like to see. They should be quite steady. So when we stream online, we're not recording it at all. We're always hoping that the file or the data is being sent to Twitch, and then Twitch holds it for like 2 weeks. Before the 2 weeks are over, we output it to YouTube, and that's how we save it. But just in case, as I say, things can happen, things can stop working. We don't want to lose the gameplay. We might drop the stream for some reason, but we're still playing. Sometimes we don't even notice, so that's why the standalone recorder is key, and that's why we try to remember when we use it. So that's why we use what we use and why we use these items. It's because we're using an older console with very simple outputs: yellow, video, left and right, black and white, or red and white. Put it in here, split it 3 ways, one to the standalone recorder, the APOG HD PVR Rocket, it records it, and then the other one to our Win TV tuner, the HVR 950Q, and then the third signal to the TV, so we can actually see it and we don't have to watch it on the screen. Another nice thing about the tuner is that the software Win TV 7 that we currently use, there's a game mode where it stops the delay, because initially when we set it up, I was kind of worried there was an obvious delay from the video that was being output to the TV and then the video that was being streamed, and then I figured out the option that that there's a game mode and everything has to be pretty instant, and it is close to being instant, slightly off, but good enough that nobody really notices, and it looks great. These items really didn't cost a ton. I've seen very expensive recorders on the market for some really awesome setups for recording. We were trying to make this stream as cheap as we could, with being the most efficient at what we wanted to produce and what we wanted to make. So I'm not really going to go over what these are for retail or what I got them on like different sites for, because it can change at any time. So this is what we use. If you have any questions at all, you know, shoot some comments at the bottom here. Thumbs up if you liked it, or if it helped you set up your thing. It's a really nice setup for retro gaming, and obviously you don't need a fancy computer to run it, because we run it with a Core i5 Windows 7 laptop with not any extreme amount of RAM or hard drive space either. So yeah, thumbs up if you liked it. Tell us what you think. Check out our Twitter. It's at MK64Bros. Our website's MK64Bros.com. Everything's MK64Bros. So check out our stuff. Tell us what you think. And maybe if this works out and people liked it, I might do another video where I show everybody how I use all this hardware and integrate it into OBS, because we use the Open Broadcaster software to make our streams. In fact, I'm using Open Broadcasting software, or Open Broadcaster software right now, just to record this, because it's really easy to add multiple video sources to one window, add images, add layouts. It's really easy to use, and I recommend all this stuff, obviously, for this kind of streaming. So again, I'm Philip. I'm an MK64 bro. Have a good evening.